WrestleMania 12 was the pinnacle of my childhood. It's one of the last times that I can remember marking out as a child. On March 31st, 1996, WrestleMania 12 took place at the Anaheim Pond in Anaheim, California. As I watched the event as a 12-year-old Shawn Michaels fan, I was utterly overjoyed when he conquered Bret Hart in the main event and won the WWF Championship. As I look back here 25 years later, I realized that WrestleMania 12 was very unique and special for its time, and it's a show that I would argue still holds up today as a great WrestleMania. So in this video, we're going to talk about 5 things that made WrestleMania 12 so different and special. Number 1, the 60-minute Ironman match itself. The Ironman match was a concept that had been done a few times in the 90s by WCW, albeit in a 30-minute incarnation. Also, 60-minute Broadways, as they were called in the business, were commonplace in the decades preceding. However, in 1996 WWF, the company was a wasteland of goofy gimmicks and mainly short matches. The fact that a 60-minute match was going to be done as the main event of the biggest show of the year. Number 2, the short card. WrestleMania 12's main card featured no more or no less than 6 matches. The show opened with a 6-man tag featuring Jake the Snake Roberts teaming with Yokozuna and Ahmed Johnson against the Camp Cornette stable of Vader, Owen Hart, and the British Bulldog Davey Boy Smith. Also, the infamous Backlot Brawl between Roddy Piper and Goldust. Stone Cold Steve Austin made his WrestleMania debut against Savio Vega. The Ultimate Warrior pinned Triple H in a little over a minute squash match. The Undertaker defeated Diesel, and of course the main event Ironman Match. The small card can of course be explained by the 3-hour pay-per-view window and including one match that was 60 minutes. Still, stands out today as the last few years we've been treated to 7-hour plus long WrestleManias or 2-day WrestleManias, which are still 7 hours long. The short card of WrestleMania 12 will always stand out as unique. Number 3, Triple H being treated like a jobber. 1996 was perhaps the most difficult year for the career of one Triple H. The story goes that Triple H would be made an example out of by management after the infamous curtain call incident, and perhaps the further frustration of Clique members Scott Hall and Kevin Nash jumping ship for WCW. Now, a lot of people point to this WrestleMania 12 match where Hunter loses to the Ultimate Warrior in 1 minute and 39 seconds and say this was a direct punishment for that, which it may well have been. You also have to consider that most of Warrior's matches were short squash matches anyway. Either way, believe it or not, you won't find another Triple H WrestleMania match where he would be given this kind of treatment. Number 4, the first cinematic type match in WrestleMania history. Now, technically this counts. Hear me out. The Hollywood Backlot Brawl between Goldust and Roddy Piper, I think, was the first of its kind, definitely for WrestleMania. See, fans expected perhaps this to be your run-of-the-mill street fight, but we were actually treated to a pre-recorded brawl that was actually done in a back alley. Brilliantly, somewhere. WWF's tape editors were able to produce quite the interesting match, given the circumstances. Now, the match kind of ended abruptly when Goldust drove away from the scene of the match, only to be chased in a white Bronco by Roddy Piper. Then, as the show progressed, we were treated to quote-unquote live updates of the car chase, which in reality was used news footage of the O.J. Simpson car chase, that had took over television the summer prior. The match finished with both men arriving back at the building and fighting their way to the middle of the Anaheim pond. The match, I think, was the first of its kind, and love it or hate it, was a precursor to matches like the Boneyard match and the Firefly Funhouse match, which we just saw on WrestleMania 36. And number 5 is, the first time that a challenger flew in on a zip line for the championship. Come on, guys. He flew into the freaking arena on a zip line like he was going to lose. Come on.